Hello, hope you're having a great day. Now, today marks 1 whole year since I started taking my life seriously, and basically 1 year since I decided to live a life clean from drink and drugs. Although, what I actually mean is 1 year since I decided this time to stay clean from drink and drugs, because I've attempted to stay clean from drink and drugs loads of times in my life. Every time I used to sniff cocaine, the next day I would tell myself that will be the last time. And then I always ended up doing it again. Now, I was actually thinking, I could make today's video, where I list everything that I think you need to do if you need to stop drinking or stop taking drugs, or, list everything I think you need to do to improve your life. But yeah, I've decided not to do that. I haven't prepared a list or anything like that because it's quite simple for me. What's different about this attempt? Well, this time I haven't focused on giving up drugs or quitting drinking. I've just focused on being determined to turn myself into the strongest human being that I can, physically, mentally, and spiritually. A lot of the things that I'm doing during this attempt at staying clean, I've done before. It's not the first time I've tried meditation. It's not the first time I've sort of lived a life where I'm focusing on the present moment. It's not the first time where I've tried to eat healthy. It's not the first time that I've tried exercise. It's just that this time I have decided to do all of it every day, pretty much as I can. So the main focus for me isn't staying clean. The main focus for me isn't not taking drugs and not drinking. The main focus for me is turning myself into the strongest human being that I can. Now, if I'm turning myself into the strongest human being I can, automatically, you don't take drugs, you don't smoke cigarettes, you don't eat crap every day, you don't talk bad about people, you don't consume content on a daily basis that's, gonna make you feel bad, or you don't consume content on a daily basis that's just literally there to make you stare at the screen. I make sure that I consume food, content, everything. I consume things that are going to make me stronger. If I want to be the strongest human being possible, I need to exercise every day. I need to get myself to a point where mentally I'm strong every day. I need to work on my business every day. And I need to eat foods that are going to make me stronger every day. I need to work out every day. Working out and nutrition are obviously interlinked, but it's all interlinked. Yeah, my focus is to make my health and fitness, and by health and fitness I mean physical, mental, and spiritual. To make my health and fitness the most important thing in my life. My the way I make my money at the moment is I'm a YouTuber on my other channel. I make videos about my life with my cars, and I'm in a lucky position where enough people like my content to the point where I just about survive financially, right? But that is nowhere near as important to me as my health and fitness. If I had to choose tomorrow between my health and fitness and YouTube, then my health and fitness would come first. This self-improvement is all about improving everything, right? So, your health, your fitness, your finances, relationships, everything. But for me, the one thing that is top of the pile is my mental and physical and spiritual health, right? My physical health is taken care of by me working out every day, and also by me eating good foods every day. Now, it's not that I never ever eat anything that's not healthy. It's just that the vast majority of the time I'm eating healthy foods. I'm eating a high protein diet, which, helps you put on muscle and stuff. But, from the stuff that I've consumed online, the content that I've consumed online, I realised that eating a high protein diet is key for, a lot of things in terms of health. It's not just about, building muscle. So yeah, I'm working out every day. I'm eating healthily to make me into a stronger human being. I'm doing things for spirituality. When you say spirituality, it sort of sounds a bit like, oh, woo-woo, you know what I mean? I'm not religious. I do believe in certain things that people would consider woo-woo, but, I like to look at it on a more down-to-earth level, right? Spirituality for me is just being in touch with the essence of who I am. and the essence of who I am is beyond what's going on in my mind. So for me, meditation and writing journals and stuff like that, it's all about, I wouldn't say detaching myself from my mind. You don't want to detach yourself from your mind, but getting yourself in touch with the essence of who you are, which is beyond your mind, beyond thought. And the way I look at the world is based around my sort of spiritual beliefs, you could say. We are all interlinked. There is only one consciousness. There's only one ego as well. We're all just separate manifestations of the essence of life. So we are all interlinked, really. We're all breathing the same air. We're all made up of tiny ingredients that have ultimately come from the same universe. So yeah, spirituality for me, or the meditation or whatever, trying to live in the present moment, trying to sort of not allow my mind to drag me through the world, and just try to stay in touch with the essence of life and then utilize my mind when I need it. That is an important part of making myself into a stronger human being. So, I could sit here for probably hours and hours and reel off a load of things that I think are key to, helping someone stay clean from drinking drugs, or, just helping someone improve their life in general. There's a million and one things, but ultimately, at its core, it's just turning yourself into a stronger human being day by day. And, as a man, what I believe is, as a man, it's your duty to turn yourself into a stronger human being day by day. You're not a man if you're not turning yourself into a stronger human being day by day. Now, look, I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm not here to persuade anyone to live any certain life. Everyone should live how they want, but it's a fact that if you're a man, especially, you should be living a life where you're turning yourself into a stronger human being day by day. And if you've got a load of vices, a load of things that are controlling you, and you're not turning yourself into a stronger human being day by day, then you're not living how a man should live. Now, if you think, thousands of years ago when life wasn't easy, because life is easy, it's ridiculously easy, and that's the problem. That's certainly what I've found. My life's been too easy. I haven't had it hard enough. That's why I ended up being a weak waste man. But if you think about it, back in sort of caveman times when life was hard, when, humans were struggling to survive, if you were a fat, unhealthy, unhelpful, negative, weak human being, you wouldn't survive. Your tribe would probably exile you or you'd just die off. And that's the way it should be. And that's not the way that humans live nowadays. There's people out there that do nothing to improve their lives. They're just a misery to themselves, a misery to other people, and they get to survive, and I've been that person. I've always been weak. I've always been a coward. I've been through my adulthood, like not turning myself into a stronger human being at all, just getting high, taking a shortcut to feeling good. Back in the day when human life was hard, I wouldn't have survived. That's why I look back at my adulthood, apart from the last year, and literally see myself as a waste man. And I know a lot of people that watch these videos, they sort of say, oh, don't call yourself a waste man, don't be so hard on yourself. No, I've lived my life as a waste man, living your life where, you're just looking at the world as if it's out to get me, waiting for any opportunity to go and ingest some poison to make me feel better, but not actually putting any effort into improving my life to make myself feel better. So yeah, I have lived my whole entire adult life as a waste man. Even though I've sort of always been alright, I've always been willing to learn things. I've been studying this sort of self-help stuff for probably 15 years. I've been building cars and stuff like that for years and years and years. I've been making YouTube videos on the other channel for 6 years. But, it's always been alongside living a life where I'm not turning myself into a stronger human being day by day, like I have been trying to do for the last year. I've been in that situation for most of my adult life where you're making excuses for yourself. You're smoking cigarettes every day and you know that they're bad for your health. You know that they do nothing for you, but you persuade yourself that, oh, I need to do this because without them, I'm stressed. Like, it's pathetic. Oh, I'd love to give up smoking, but I can't. No, you can. It's just easier if you don't. In the same way, it would have been easier for me to not give up cocaine. Right? It's the same thing about drinking. I'm not here to say that people shouldn't drink, right? There's plenty of people out there that are successful that drink. But really and truly, it's like drinking's just what you do, isn't it? It's part of like society, you know. Oh, when you go to a wedding, you drink. When you go out the weekend with your friends, you drink. You drink to socialise. Like, it's pathetic. Well, you can't enjoy those things without drinking. Well, if you're going to things that you can't enjoy without drinking, stop going to them things. Like, it's pathetic. The only reason everyone drinks is because everyone thinks that it's the thing that everyone does, right? You know, I used to use cocaine and drink and stuff to like give me confidence to approach women and stuff when I was going out. And that was like the excuse, you know, that made me feel like less of a loser, like, because yeah, I'm going out there and, you know, I used to study about like, you know, like approaching women and stuff. I've always been an introvert. I've always been unconfident. So I used to consume that content and I used to think that, yeah, I'm better in myself. Like, and there was a time where I actually went out for a few months and just tried to, you know, like approach women sober. And I just went out for months and months and didn't really approach anyone, and then sort of gave in and got drunk and then sort of started having a bit more success with it. It's pathetic. It's always like a shortcut. Now, for me, in an ideal world, you know, I've got no interest in like going to the pub and hanging around with people that are drunk. But, you know, it's not to say that I don't ever be around people that drink. You know, my girlfriend drinks, you know, it's fine. Like, I don't want to be the kind of guy that looks down at people that drink, because I don't look down at anyone for however they live their lives. Like, you know, I don't think I'm above anyone else. Like, and it's not even a sort of like, oh yeah, we're all equal and all this and we should never look down. It's because I don't care. Like, I don't care about how anyone else is living their life. I only care about how I'm living my life. If I can inspire people that aren't happy with the way they're living their lives, or people that have finally come to the conclusion where they're admitting they're not happy with how they're living their lives, and I can inspire those people, that's great. But for those people out there that, you know, are still telling themselves that they're happy in their lives whilst living an unhealthy life, or people that are genuinely happy living life unhealthily and not turn themselves into stronger human beings, then I'm not here to look down my nose at them, because I don't care enough about anyone else. And this is something that Andrew Tate says, you know, no one is going to care about you enough to sort your life out than you're going to need to care about yourself to sort your life out. It's on you. So yeah, you know, I used to drink as like a shortcut to making myself feel better, or getting myself into a state where I could, you know, be more social because I'm an introvert. It's a shortcut. It's waste man behaviour. It's pathetic. You know, I'm still not an overly confident person. I'm still very socially awkward. I'm still introverted. People that know me and people that watch the videos might find that hard to believe, but it's a fact. So I still need to go and do the work on myself to continually improve that side of me. You know, the fact that I've spent years and years and years getting drunk and getting high and using shortcuts to get to a point where I can be more social or be more confident, that isn't going to help me now, is it? I'm back to square one again. You know, maybe if I'd have stuck out that few months where I tried to go out and stay sober, maybe actually tried hard at it, then maybe I'd be further along in that sort of journey than I am now. But, you know, where we are is a result of what we've been through. So, you know, I don't spend too much time regretting what I've done in the past. You know, I do always say, yes, I've been a waste man for my whole adult life, but I don't regret any of it, because, as I say, we are where we are because of where we've been. So if it's taken going through everything I've been through, putting myself through everything that I've put myself through, and being a waste man for all them years to get me to a point now where I'm literally in the best shape I've ever been in my life. I'm stronger now than I've ever been in my life. Like, even when you're younger, you know, when you're younger, you're sort of fitter, aren't you, right? I mean, I'm 38 now, so you'd assume that when you're sort of 16, 17, 18, I was fitter than I am now. But I don't think so, not at all. Not when you look at the whole package, physical, mental and spiritual health. You know, when I was late teens, I was smoking weed every day, smoking cigarettes every day, getting drunk every weekend, or maybe even more often than that. I was living life as a waste man. I just couldn't really see it. So yeah, this video is going on way longer than I was expecting. You know, I purposely decided not to just reel off a load of things, but, you know, it is all based around just focusing on your physical, mental and spiritual health, focusing on turning yourself into a stronger human being day by day. Because if you're doing that, then things like drink, things like drugs, things like eating crap every day, things like, just doing anything like that's not turning you into a stronger human being is like out the window. Like, there's just no question. Like, I get urges on a daily basis to get high. Like, my mind will just pop up with a thought reminding me of how good it felt to get high. Like, those urges will probably never go away. My dealer lives near my other garages where, a couple of my cars are. So, every time I'm driving into that area, I get that urge. Like, I get that sort of imagination of like veering off and going to score some coke. Like, and those urges are never going to go away. Like, don't ever think that, you can give up something and then, once you get to 3, 6, 9 months, 1 year, or, any set length of time under your belt, that the urges are going to go away. They're not. They're just not. You just learn how to overcome them. It's like anything in life. Problems don't sort of disappear. You just learn how to deal with them. And then when those problems come up again, you know how to deal with them. You've got the tools to deal with them. I've got to a point now where, I get those urges all the time. But then I just bring myself back to the present moment and remind myself how much I like my life now, not how much I miss my life then. So my answer, if you're someone that is struggling with drink and drugs or with anything, just focus on turning yourself into the strongest human being you can. And then naturally, you're not going to bother with people or things or thoughts or ideas that are going to go against that if you make that your number one priority. And if you are sitting there now knowing that you do have a problem with drink or drugs, for instance, then you're further along than most people, because most people just haven't even got there yet. You can't solve an issue until you admit that issue is there. I've sort of battled within myself, persuaded myself that I don't have a problem because I wasn't using every day. But then there were periods where I was sniffing coke every day, driving around in my van, doing my day job, high all day, driving on the roads all day, every day, sniffing. I'd go through like a month period where I'd be sniffing every single day at work. And then even then I'd still be telling myself, well, you're not an addict because you had your breakfast in the morning before you got on it. It's madness. If you use drugs, but the next day you wake up and regret it, or you wake up and say never again, repeatedly doing something that deep down you don't want to do, that's a problem. So if you're doing cocaine once a week, at the weekends, very normal, isn't it, nowadays, for people to do cocaine at the weekends? It's like not even a big deal. Like, most of the people that I used to knock about with are probably still doing that. I don't know. I don't really see a lot of people that I used to see when I was using drugs, naturally, because I'm focusing on my physical, mental and spiritual health. Like, I'm focusing on turning myself into a stronger human being. So naturally, I only really surround myself with people that are on that same path. But if you're using cocaine once a week, it might seem like not a big deal. But if you wake up after using it and then regret it, but then still go and do it the next weekend, then that means you've got a problem. Like, don't call it an addiction. Like, if your mind's telling you that it's not an addiction unless you're doing it every day, don't call it an addiction then. Just call it a problem. Call it an unhealthy relationship with drugs. That's what Dapper, Daniel O'Reilly calls it. It doesn't matter what label you put on it. Like, if you're doing something that part of you doesn't want to do, then that's a problem. And in my mind, the way to deal with or battle against doing something that's unhealthy for you, focus on turning yourself into the strongest human being that you can. Because if you focus on that enough, then all the bullshit is out of the question, including intoxicating yourself just to escape from the world and make yourself feel better. Today I'm 1 year clean from drink and drugs, but it's just another day. I've only just started. I'm nowhere near where I want to be. To some people, staying off drink and drugs for a year is like a big, massive thing. And, up until very recently, for me, it was realistically unachievable. But here I am. But, the journey continues. I'm in great shape, but I haven't finished yet. 1 year clean isn't the destination. In fact, there isn't a destination. It's a lifelong journey that never ends, and it's one that I'm so glad I'm on. Thanks for watching.